I am a Provo boy, born and raised in this wonderful town, this wonderful city, actually on 425 East Center Street in an old, beautiful home. And tonight I'm going to tell you a little bit about our story as a business, a little bit about my story as an individual. But before I go too far, I'm going to have my co-founder and best friend, Lee Radford, tell us a little bit about Kiln.
Welcome to the future of work, Kiln Provo, our very first co-working and flex office community to be completely designed from scratch and built entirely from the ground up. It marks a major breakthrough not only for Kiln, but for the entire co-working industry. It's something truly revolutionary. We've crafted a boutique, state-of-the-art space that combines the nearby university atmosphere with the natural beauty of a mountain lifestyle, and most importantly, a thriving community of Provo's brightest minds. Kiln Provo, entirely designed and built from scratch. Join us and experience the groundbreaking opportunity for yourself.
Woo! So Kiln Provo opened on November 16th of this last year, and we have a wonderful, thriving community of members. It was a really joyous occasion. It had taken several years to get to that stage, and as of today, Kiln Provo has over 170 companies that use Kiln on a regular basis, and that's close to well over 200 members that are coming to Kiln on a daily basis. Having a little hard time moving the slides. There we go. Here, okay, keep going through. And I just want to say that, oh boy. All right, you got a sneak peek at the whole presentation. Woo, there it is. Fastest presentation ever. I'll let you get that back up and running, but the story of Kiln Provo goes way back and has lots of roots and comes right back to Center Street in Provo, where I had a home that had beautiful natural light and lots of plants and wood floors, and I was always inspired by that environment. Well, fast forward, as I mentioned, I grew up here. I went to Provo High School. I was even in the Provo Youth City Council for a while. I served as the Provo Youth City police chief and even did sting operations at like gas stations to see if I could buy beer and cigarettes, which, believe it or not, they could never take me seriously. And then went on to ultimately go to BYU. And after BYU, I left for 15 years, and we lived in Nevada, and we lived in England, and we lived in Connecticut. And each of those places, we picked up something really important, including launching a co-working brand out of London, which had locations in London and New York and Tel Aviv, and even Cape Town, South Africa. So after this long journey, we came back to Utah and set up shop in a small condominium up in Quail Valley, just above Timpview. And after about 6 months of being there, we launched Kiln in the attic of that condominium, right here in Provo, Utah. And I just had a pitch deck at the time and needed to raise quite a bit of money. These are expensive things to get up and running. And thankfully, a few people had faith in the idea, and we got our first locations up and running in Salt Lake and Lehigh. And after about 2 years of doing this, we hired a consultant, which means that you're either spending too much money or you don't know what you're doing. But fortunately, it was a BYU student who was a consultant for us. And she did some data research. And believe it or not, she told us the bullseye of where we should build the next Kiln. And it was based on an environment where entrepreneurship is flourishing, where the venture capital per capita is abundant, where you've got a lot of self-employed individuals, where you have a high level of education, where you have great educational institutions. And she came back after all of this work and presented her outcome, which is you should build a Kiln location in Provo. So it took some good data, and obviously I have always loved this city. And we started our search for the right location in Provo. And as many of you know, for such a long time, the Shopko and the Movies 8 and that area of Provo was kind of searching for its next chapter. And we partnered up with the developer who was there and we're very grateful to be in River's Edge today. And the Kiln Provo that we built there is the first co-working building built from scratch that we know of in the United States, meaning, and it's one of only 2 in the world, meaning that it is entirely designed from the ground up to be a world-class work environment, a flexible world-class work environment. So from the moment you enter Kiln Provo, you're going to see warmth, and you're going to see light, and you're going to see thoughtfulness behind the design. A lot of the design work was done in London by my co-founder and partner, Lee, and it was in collaboration with a local architecture group here in Utah as well. And each section of Kiln offers something different for its members. Kiln members can sign up for as little as $250 a month to have 24/7 access to an office, and that goes all the way up to large groups like Rev Road, who have multiple portfolio companies that are based at Kiln and who have quite a large team themselves. So we see individuals, we see companies of 20, and all the way to companies of up to 50 or 80 or 90. We really focus on creating moments within Kiln that enable better productivity and better outcomes for businesses. We also want to create environments that are stimulating and that create a feeling of being in a world-class environment and allowing the people that are there to feel like they can do something that's thoughtful and ingenious. Each detail is carefully considered. For example, there are more than 200 pieces of individual furniture, many of them custom designed. In fact, we design and manufacture over 20 different furniture items ourselves. We have gobs of great events. We put on multiple events on a weekly basis, and thousands of people since November 16th have already been and attending events at Kiln. And this is one of the great things about what we do that really harmonizes with Provo. We open up our doors and we invite the community in, and there's no cost or fee to come to most of our events, the vast majority, and to be a part of the entrepreneurial ecosystem that's really vibrant here in Provo. And so that can be individuals connecting in the hallways, or it can be a scheduled meeting, or it can be a great event. But whatever it is, it's always about people connecting and building collaboration and creating value for each other. And it happens in places that are designed just for what they're trying to do, whether it's a meeting room or a small collaboration room, or even a podcast studio, or we have a video room that's designed just for video casting. We have deep work rooms, and we have phone booths, and we have refresh rooms. We even have a room with a massage chair that you can get a little refresh in. And of course, we have a beautiful theater. Now, it's not quite as magnificent as the Covey Center, but it serves a special purpose, which is to allow people, specifically entrepreneurs, creatives, people in tech, and other businesses to connect and to collaborate and to share best practices. We also make sure that we have a good snack in the morning and a good snack in the afternoon. It's not quite daycare for adults, but it's good enough to be that. And I should know, because my mother actually is the founder of Adventure Time Daycare here in Provo, Utah. And we also have beautiful outdoor spaces and gyms and lots of plants, lots of living plants, and over 300 pieces of art. In fact, that piece of art was sourced out of Morocco, but there's a lot of beautiful art sourced all around the world that's a part of Kiln Provo, with each piece of furniture being thoughtfully designed, some of it being handcrafted right here in Provo. All that said, what makes Kiln special are the people. And we are anchored at Kiln Provo by a wonderful team led by Amber and her team. I think she may even be here tonight, but we have such a wonderful group of people that care for and look after all of our members. And it's a place where people feel comfortable gathering and sharing their most authentic selves with one another. Provo is just blessed with so many amenities. From all the things that we've talked about mountains right here in Provo, Utah, where if you need to get away from it all and have a moment to connect with your team and create great ideas, you can do that right there. Kiln is gathering great entrepreneurs and companies all over the western United States. We started here in that little attic space or that little top room in that condominium. And today we have over 4,000 members and over 1,800 companies that use Kiln locations in everywhere from Portland, Oregon, to Solana Beach, California, to Meridian, Idaho, to Park City, Utah, Boulder, Colorado, and Salt Lake and Lehigh. And just this last week, I jumped on an Allegiant flight from Provo Airport and zipped down to Mesa, and within 10 minutes, I was at our new Gilbert location that will be opening this next week. We already have over 70 companies signed up to call that location home. All of it coming right back. Yes, that's great. Yes. But all of it comes right back to people. People are what make anything special. It's what makes Provo so unique and so exceptional. I really wish I could take the time with you tonight to tell you the many, many, many ways in which my life has been impacted by this. He was kind enough to do that. And when I was a young boy living on Center Street, at about age 6, my parents divorced. And so there were many afternoons when my mom wasn't at home because she was starting a business here in Provo. And so I would spend my afternoons at the Boys and Girls Club, which was down kind of by where Seven Peaks is at today. Later on to discover that the couple whose driveway I would shovel as a teenager, Patty and Lavelle Edwards, were the sponsors and oftentimes contributing to that Boys and Girls Club. And the list goes on and on of the stories of the way that individuals and people in this city have positively affected my life. I just want to say that the fabric of any great community, be it Kiln or Provo or the neighborhood that you live in, always comes down to the individual efforts of great and exceptional people. And we are so blessed to be in a city with truly exceptional people. And I'm very grateful to have started Kiln here and to be building it here. Thank you very much.